Hello, lovely, and welcome to today's episode of Sacred Feminine Wisdom for an Awakening World. My name is Amrita Grace, and today's episode is called 3 Mistakes Women Make in Relationships. So I am a woman, and I have made plenty of mistakes in my own relationships, especially in those early days of my 20s and 30s. Some of these are mistakes that I've made, all of them are, and there are many, many more. But as I thought about this, I thought, let me round up the 3 most important ones, the 3 that are going to make the biggest difference for you. And we'll talk about those. So we're going to start with number 3. So the third mistake that women make in relationships is they expect their partners to rescue them from their childhood wounds. And this often goes on unconsciously. So the way it played out for me is that I was having addiction issues. So of course I attracted a partner with addiction issues. And we both had childhood wounding that was unresolved. And we kept playing it out with each other unconsciously over and over. And it was extremely painful. And the real secret here is to look at your own wounding, to be willing to do your inner work, and to unwind your own shadow pieces so that you can come into a relationship as a healed and whole being. And when you do that, that's what you're going to attract. And that is some big magic when 2 people come together and they are healed and whole. Now, I'm not saying that healing isn't an ongoing, lifelong process, because it is. But there comes a point, certainly there did for me, where there is a real wholeness that's there. And that really allowed me, in particular, to attract a whole and healed, an amazing partner into my life. So that's number 3. We expect our partners to rescue us from our childhood wounds. The number 2 mistake women make in relationships is not taking 100% responsibility. Now, this can play out in a few different ways. One of the ways that we can take 100% responsibility is if we get into a situation where there's blame and a difference of opinions. Instead of divvying the responsibility up or blaming our partner and saying, you're the one responsible, try this sometime. Take 100% responsibility and see what happens. Because oftentimes what it can do is turn the situation completely around. Now, this doesn't mean that you are taking blame or anything like that. It just means that you're taking 100% responsibility for your contribution to the issue. That's all it is. And that's a lot. And it's huge. This makes such a big impact on disagreements. There's always that option of agreeing to disagree. But when you take 100% responsibility, instead of try to divvy it up, oh, it's 50% yours and 50% mine, try this sometime. Take 100% and see what happens. This can bring some real magic. Now, another way this can play out is to take 100% responsibility for how you're creating your world. Because as within, so without. Who we are on the inside manifests on the outside. Are you taking responsibility for the inner work that you need to do? The healing work, the sexual healing, the childhood wound healing? So that's another piece of taking 100% responsibility. The number 1 mistake women make in relationships is expecting their partner to read their mind. So what this tracks back to is having a voice. Being clear about what it is that we want and need, and being able to express it verbally, vocally, not energetically, or with the wistful hope that he knows me well enough to know what it is that I need and want. This is such a downfall for people, especially women in relationships, because our voices have been shut down in so many ways. And that's changing now. And we have the opportunity to change that for ourselves. Never have women had such an opportunity to speak out and be true to themselves as they do now. And that's only going to continue to improve as the sacred feminine energies ground on this planet. So what this really requires is that you know what it is that you want and need. So there's a little bit of a trick to it here. You can't say what you want and need if you don't know what you want and need. So again, this comes back to coming back to knowing yourself, to knowing what your needs in relationship are, what your needs for alone time, for partnership, for connection, for conversation, for sex, for intimacy. If you know what those are and you can express them, then you have so much more chance of getting your needs met and your desires fulfilled. So it really comes back to the know thyself. Know thyself, heal thyself, and show up in relationships healed and whole. And expect the same from your partner. And always take 100% responsibility for you and for the world you're creating. And as you heal your childhood wounds or your adult wounds, whatever wounds you have, whatever shadow pieces and injured little parts that are inside of you, then you really will be able to draw the kind of relationship that you deserve and that you desire. So thank you so much for being with me today on Sacred Feminine Wisdom for an Awakening World. It's been a pleasure to share this information with you that has served me so well in my own life, and I hope you'll come back next time. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can be notified when there are new episodes released. And I also have a free gift to offer you. That is a 3-part video series that I created called Ignite Your Sacred Feminine Fire. And this will help you get access to your life force energy and use it to create amazing relationships, to create health and vitality, and to learn how to be a true receiver of the things that really matter. The things like abundance and your capacity to be the impact on the planet that you know you're here to be. So you'll find Ignite Your Sacred Feminine Fire as a complimentary gift on my website, which is sacredfeminischool.com. Thank you so much for being with me today on Sacred Feminine Wisdom for an Awakening World, and I'll see you next time. Have a beautiful day and many blessings.